felt like I didn't have a lot of people in my high school to talk to. I'd always go and talk to my teachers about chemistry or English or these other topics I found really exciting. I think I was lacking a lot of diversity and other ways to talk to people about the things I really cared about in life. Stanford had, for me, as a high school senior, everything I could want. It had incredible academics, world-class professors, world-class research, and at the same time, it's collaborative, it's caring, and it's about more than the classroom. I love that students live on campus for all 4 years. It's a place where you live and you work and you grow as a person. It really feels like a place that's home. This is the farm on campus where we do research on corn. We're asking this big question of what fate does this cell have and how does it get there? I've always loved thinking about the way the world works on a molecular level. So when we look around us here in this greenhouse, I see molecules of all different types interacting, moving, changing all the time. And to me, that's really amazing. And one of the greatest opportunities I've had is been able to share my research. Stanford provided me the opportunity to travel to China for the Maize Genetics Conference, in which I got to go outside the country for the first time, which is something that I just never had the financial capabilities to do. It's not just about what we do on campus, it's about sharing what we can with the world. I feel like I've had a great breadth in my education I can really take into life beyond.
It was pretty big for my family. I was the first person to get accepted and go to a 4-year university.
We're from a very small rural town.
The email came in and I read it out loud.
He goes, I'm in. I mean, I got in.
My mom ran in place screaming and just freaking out. I just kind of stared at the screen, not believing what I was reading. And towards the end of the letter, it says, soon you will get a packet with financial aid information. And that's what I was worried about. I was like, well, I know this place isn't cheap.
They just made it easy. They worked with us from the beginning.
And luckily, Stanford has an incredible financial aid policy.
Every question we've ever had has been walked through.
Now I'll be able to graduate debt-free because of Stanford, my family, and work I've been able to do to help fund my education. Outside of the classroom, I'm involved in a lot of different activities. I attribute most of my success to my involvement in the Native community because it was my safety net. Powwow in itself has now existed. We're in our 44th year. We're the largest student-run powwow in the country. That's something we're really proud of. There's so much diversity on campus, and the powwow is just one of the meaningful ways students from all backgrounds can engage and learn from different cultures.
Something like fills my chest up and I'm happy to be here. I see Hoover Tower, I see friends biking by and feel the sun. I've never known until I came to Stanford what it was like to just be so okay and at peace with yourself. My areas of study are biology and theater. I like those two because they combine very different parts of my brain.
Comfortable about that would be really valuable for you to get a hand.
That switch is exactly what I want. I want to run to both ends of my mind constantly. A big part of improv is, we call it failing cheerfully, sort of accepting that it's okay to wipe out because that's how you're learning who you are. That's how you're sort of smashing and confronting your ego every single day. That's how you're taking the most valuable lessons from things. Stanford has one of the best humanities programs in the country, and here I'm afforded the opportunity to explore all of my passions. It's in the classroom, or on stage, or in lab. It's very, very cool. Most people here are healthily balancing doing things for fun and then doing things to give back to the world that we live in. When you're at a sports game, the energy and school spirit is off the charts. It's phenomenal. There's nothing else like it. You really have to be there to feel it. Finding that there were people who were like me, who were strange and goofy, but also were incredibly attentive and alert and passionate in the classroom was just exactly what I needed.
It's a different type of atmosphere here than I've experienced coming from the South, coming out to California. I was always told it was a different type of persona of people, but I really was attracted to the type of people that I met out here. I'm a little quirky at first, but I've grown to like it. I've grown to enjoy it and really admire it. I like being around people that want to make a difference in the world, want to better themselves as well, but also better their communities. The thirst to learn more, the thirst to ask why, the thirst to ask what if. Those types of questions here at Stanford I really admire. people here are being primed to change the world, be the next leaders in the world. I wanted to study economics, political science, or international relations, definitely within that type of realm. But as finding out a solidified major, I was still iffy. So I took classes in international relations, I took classes in economics, I've taken plenty of classes in political science, and I chose political science because I saw it as an avenue to bring all three into one. I always figured Stanford professors or faculty members were not approachable. They go to Stanford, they're all high and mighty. But I found out here that the professors are just as laid back as many of the students here. And they really are inviting and want to know you more than you think you want to know them. I really find that dynamic to be very interesting. Wouldn't change it for the world, wouldn't change my decision to come to Stanford at all, or the West Coast, period.
I came into Stanford not even close to thinking that I was gonna want to study brains and the way that neuron activity turns into behavior. I took a class with Professor Robert Sapolsky called Human Behavioral Biology. It was so engrossing. I realized that's what I want to study. I want to study human behavior. That was one of those sort of turning point classes.
One of the best things about this place is it's a much more relaxed, open place. And that, I think, makes a big difference in the student culture. What that makes for is a very welcoming place for students.
I chose Stanford because I thought Stanford's going to give me that freedom to make creative choices. And so I joined an a cappella group for the first time. Talisman is a musical group that was initially formed to perform songs from the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa. I wanted to explore the cultural richness and diversity available to me at Stanford, and that has been incredible.
I'm a first-generation college student. My parents didn't graduate from high school, much less attend college. I did not think that I had any chance of getting into Stanford, attending Stanford, and hopefully in a year graduating from Stanford. One thing that I had thought was that there was no one who was first generation and or low income. I said at a place like that, I couldn't possibly relate to anyone. And Flip, first generation low income partnership, showed me that that was wrong. And I really was able to connect with people in that community just because we have shared experiences and continue to share those experiences as we go through college together. I ultimately want to work in government and policy. I noticed that at all levels of government, there's not a lot of minority representation, and I thought it was very important that I gained that toolkit here at Stanford to enable me to do that in the future. Through Stanford and Government Fellowships, I am able to work at the Office of Reentry Services with the Santa Clara County, and it has been really valuable to me to work with someone like Javier, who is a Stanford alum, and can connect me with other people and can really mentor me. I have been really grateful to have been given so many opportunities. Oftentimes I have so many and I don't know what to do with myself. I could do more than I thought was possible before.
One of the main things that drew me in here was how happy people were. People believe that they can do almost anything and then try to do almost anything, which is really cool. And I knew that I wanted to be at a place where I wasn't limited by any resources. So Stanford gives you a lot of freedom, especially in your first few years. You don't have to declare your major until your sophomore year, which was actually a huge blessing for me because I didn't take a design class or a social entrepreneurship class until my sophomore year. And then I found product design in the D school at Stanford and absolutely fell in love with it. It's one of the coolest places on campus.
Essentially, G School is a place where people come to learn about stretching their imagination, about solving real world problems, and about looking at the world as a place full of possibilities. This is a really remarkable and very unique place at Stanford and in the United States and in the world.
I wanted to do something a little bit more socially minded, and so I ended up majoring in something called STS, which is Science, Technology, and Society. And so I'm able to take product design classes and then also take classes in management, science, and engineering and take classes on entrepreneurship. And through that, I've sort of been able to craft my own concentration that sort of marries that social impact space and the design space. There's a lot of momentum on campus, whether that be in the various social movements that we have going on. There's just an energy here here that doesn't dissipate. Our culture is one of passion for each other, for our activities, for our projects, for the future. Stanford just has a buzz about it.
And I think that something that Stanford as an institution really pushes is to have people leave as global citizens, and that well-rounded identity to know how to interact with people of all different beliefs, backgrounds, and cultures.
We're not just here to get a degree and move on, but we're here to try to affect change in whatever discipline we want to go into. The school will take any ideas that you have and turn them upside down and warp them in certain ways. Stanford also encourages people to run with wild ideas.
I'm leaving with lifelong friends, with an education in my back pocket that has given me much better knowledge of the world and a passion to keep learning. I may be leaving Stanford, but I'll always come back. It's my home, it's my community, and even when my friends and I leave and graduate, Stanford will always be here.